Hi, welcome. My name is Andy Hall. I teach seniors here at Woodstock High School, and I'm here to give you a few pointers and a little bit of insight into the VisionQuest projects that you've agreed to judge. And I'd like to first thank you for your time and your contribution to this, and I hope that you're able to enjoy some of the wonderful work that our students have done. First thing you have to know about VisionQuest is that it is another name for the senior project that Cherokee County students are asked to complete as part of their senior English class. It has many components, and we're going to go through the basics of what a few of those are so that you can most effectively evaluate the presentations that you're going to see. The four major components of the VisionQuest are the research paper or the research project, the product, the portfolio, and of course the presentation. The research paper, also known as the multi-genre research project, here takes place in the fall. It is a research topic that goes along with what the senior has chosen for his or her product. It's supposed to be tied to the career or hobby that the senior is researching and trying to learn about through the course of the year. This part is completed in the fall, so they've been finished with this for a while. It follows a multi-genre format, meaning they write in different ways, use different types of ways of communicating their information rather than just the standard essay writing that they might have been used to before. The project asks the students to use a minimum of 8 sources. Many students use many more than that to really round out their research. It follows MLA guidelines, which are all part of senior writing conventions and writing standards that we are supposed to be taking care of in all of our other writings as well. So all of this falls in line with what the seniors are going to be doing in terms of research. The entire MGRP is housed on the website portfolio and is there for you to take a look at when you get that portfolio link. Parts of this MGRP, this multi-genre research project, are the formal research essay, which is your standard essay, at least 3 pages. And then for the other 3 genres, the students are given a choice of a number of different things. The sky's the limit with their creativity and what they choose to create in terms of presenting their information. And so they might do something for more traditional print media, visuals and infographics, all sorts of various video and creative sorts of writing genres are there on display, and so really get in there and take a look and see all the wonderful things they were able to do. Each genre does explore that topic and is supposed to come together with the paper to forward that topic. And the last element of this MGRP, this research project, is what we call the repetin. The repetin is a repeated element that goes throughout the paper. It serves as transition. It serves as the glue that sort of moves the reader from one genre to the next. So look for those. Those are also interesting and creative in many cases. After the research project concludes in the fall, the seniors are then sent forth to begin work on their product. And the first step to work on their product is to find and secure a project facilitator. This is a local expert, somebody outside of the school walls that is an expert in the field that person has chosen. They're there to give the real-world feedback, the real-world experience to these seniors as they go along, and this really becomes one of the most enriching relationships that the students end up forging during this VisionQuest process. These people need to be 25 years or older, not a member of the person's family, to avoid any conflicts of interest, and it really allows the seniors to get out there and make those business-like connections and work on communication skills and some of those real-world things that they're often not asked to do in school. The role of the project facilitator is, as it says here, to just give that sustained instruction to the student, to guide them along, take a look at what they're doing throughout, and to give them their unique insight. Students are supposed to have spent at least 15 hours working on their product. They need to be doing that with their facilitator much of that time. They're supposed to have 6 meetings with that project facilitator in person, sometimes through Skype, sometimes through virtual meetings here and there, but they're really supposed to spend a great deal of time with these project facilitators, and you'll see varying degrees of success with that as you evaluate these projects. But usually the students who've spent the most time with their project facilitators have the most impressive products and the most impressive learning that they've done. So as they're working with this person, they go on and produce what is called the product. The product is the actual whatever the student has produced to show their learning and to go on this journey through VisionQuest and learn about that career or hobby that they're looking at. It's not any kind of judgment on what kind of money they've spent. Some students did have to spend money to get certifications or to buy materials to create what they've made. Others don't hardly spend a dime and do just as impressive work. So the real key for the product is that the student stretches their learning and their understanding in ways that allow them to show that they've learned new things that they didn't know before. Examples of products are as follows. They can do physical products where they actually create some tangible product. They build something, they design a web page. Sometimes there's a lot of, you see a lot of written products, series of stories for the newspaper. Sometimes students produce books or manuals or how-to guides. Some will do performance products where they direct a play, perform, direct a play, videos, dance recitals, music, things like that. Sometimes they'll take on leadership projects where they run a skills clinic, organize an advocacy group, put on an event for a fundraiser, various things like that. You'll see some people do physical experience type of product where they train and do something physical that they've never done, and they tie that to a career in some way or another. Oftentimes you'll see career-related products throughout where they've done shadowing or they've done different experiments where they learn on the job and then they produce something afterwards. That job shadowing can't be the only thing that they've done. They produce something like a manual or a documentary or something like that. Community service, and the list goes on. You'll see lots and lots of different examples of these as you judge. And so keep in mind that the product is a place where the students had a choice to propose and then to carry out whatever they wanted to do as long as it met the requirements of the project. These are the things that you are looking for that the product must do, and these are what the teachers have evaluated these students on these products already on. That it reflects a learning stretch. Somebody is an accomplished auto mechanic. They can't just go and do the brakes on a car because they do that all the time. Needs to be a stretch. Now they might have something that they know, and they have to then show that they've gone far beyond that and done something and gone into new territory. They need to relate all of this to their research project. The product itself needs to relate in some way. It also needs to take at least 15 hours to complete in various stages, and it needs to be something that they've done originally. There's no kits or models or ready-made sort of things that they are going to be able to do. Next step, the next part of the project is the portfolio, which is the website that just houses all the student learning, documents their progress through VisionQuest. It's available to the judges. You should receive this and be able to peruse these websites before you come in. The students may or may not present these to you at the presentation. They're not required to do so. It can be helpful for them because they have many of their pictures and many of the things that will help them explain the process that they went to housed on that website, but they can also present those things to you in other ways. So just something to keep in mind about this portfolio is that it's as much for you to read through beforehand so that you can familiarize yourself a bit with what the student has done. Main elements of the portfolio are the product work blog, which is a place where they basically log their progress working on their product. There should be at least 9 pictures documenting that progress. The entire multi-genre research project that was discussed before should be there as well. And they also have what's called a reflection essay, where they, as a student, step back and reflect on their process going through the entire VisionQuest journey. Highs, lows, difficulties, triumphs, things of that nature. That's something that is sometimes good to read. They'll be telling you some of those things as well if they do a good job with their presentation. The work log itself records the effort, the money, the time, the things that they've done, verifies. It's basically the place where somebody that from the outside looking in can go in and see the process that the student went through as they created their product. So that should be a part of the portfolio. You don't need to read the whole thing, but to go through it and take a look at some of the steps along the way can be a useful gauge of what the student went through. Templates given to the students at the beginning of the year so they know how to put it together and to log their progress. Pictorial element covers the visuals. It should show different stages of what's going on. It's there's supposed to be captions so you can understand what the pictures are, and there should be at least 9 photos. Many students do many more, some students do many less, and those of course are the work logs that are less effective for the student as far as showing their learning. All of this comes together to the reason that you're here and the reason that you've given your time, which is to evaluate the senior board presentation. This is the culminating activity of VisionQuest, and this serves as their second semester grade for their English class. So they're going to come and they're going to present, and this is what we're talking about for the final little bit here. These presentations, where they present their entire project, are to be 8 to 10 minutes. There should be a visual component to this presentation that enhances what they're doing. Some combination of visuals that is not just the product itself. If a student created a handbook, they should have more in their presentation than just the handbook that they hand to the judges. There should be visuals, they should go to their website, they should use any number of other things in order to enhance their overall 8 to 10 minute presentation. There will be at least 3 or 4 judges. Within your room, when you're judging, please designate one judge to be the timekeeper just to kind of keep it consistent. And that person will please notify the students when they get to 7 minutes. Now, they might ask you to do a different time. Try to respect that. If they say, will you please tell me when I get to 8 or 9 or whatever it might be, go along with that, but tell them at 7 as well, because they're trying to get it right as far as the time that they're spending. They will present their product to you, and they'll also use their portfolio in some way, shape, or fashion to show you some of the progress that they've made. Time starts when the student makes the introduction, sort of the formal, hi, my name is so-and-so. After they've set up, you can sort of set how that goes within your rooms, and the time is supposed to conclude when they thank the judges for their time, or sometimes students forget to do that and they just stop. Logically, you just use common sense to figure out when it ends from there. Evaluating this presentation. The scores run from 10 down to 3. 9 or 10 equals A effort. It's solid work, it's impressive, it merits the A level. 8 is equal to a B effort. It's definitely satisfactory, does some good things, but might not be quite as impressive as what you give top marks for. 6 is failing. 3 lacks any effort. If there's just severe underdevelopment, or there's so much missing that you can't make sense of what's going on, or it's very obvious that the student has not put much into this, give them the 3. The key here is to be honest. Be supportive. Most of these students have done excellent work and they've done great things, and it will show very clearly, and it will be very easy to give them a high mark. If they don't earn that, though, please give them the mark you think it deserves. They've been graded on all the other parts of the project throughout the year. You're not going to make or break their future based on what you give them. So, please be honest. We want you to give an honest assessment there. So, be supportive, be glad to see the wonderful things that they've done, but if something is lacking, please mark it as such. The speech is then, of course, one of the things that you're looking at, and when you give this evaluation of the speech, these are some of the things that are supposed to be there. These things are in the rubric that you'll have to kind of guide you, but have they grabbed your attention? Do they make the connections between their research paper and their product? Have they explained why they chose their research topic? That should be dealt with in some way or another in the presentation. Do they go through the actual creation of their product step by step? We're looking for organization here. We want the presentation to make sense and flow so that it's clear that they're telling you the steps that they went through and what they did in order to get from beginning with nothing and ending with the product that they have in front of you now. The conclusion itself, do they bring it back together? Do they tell you how it's affected their future plans? Have they thanked you? This is what you're looking for in the conclusion. After you've concluded, obviously you can ask them some questions. Please ask questions. Things that you want to know more about, things that you're curious about how they came to a decision, ask them those questions. Think about definitely how they respond to that. The student that knows what they're doing and has prepared well will be able to answer well. If they have trouble, then you'll mark that in the rubric as well. But of course, be supportive and remember that they're probably pretty nervous as well. So, ask them some good questions that you want to know about and let them wow you with their answers. Same goes for the speech delivery. The same scale goes in there. Mark them as you need to. Keep in mind that they're nervous, and that obviously when we are nervous, we all sometimes don't speak exactly as well as we'd like to. But if they are having a difficult time presenting, then you need to mark that for sure. As far as the speech delivery goes, the normal things that people pay attention to, these are the things that you're evaluating. Give those an honest assessment for us, please. As far as the conclusion of what you're doing, tally things up if you would. Add your stuff up on your rubrics. It makes everything easier on the teachers who have to do everything and finalize it. And then give your stuff to the teacher judge. There will be a teacher judge in your group, and they'll go check that stuff in. Thank you so much. This is just a brief overview. We'll talk more on the night of the judging to make sure that you're clear on the process, but we really appreciate your time, and we thank you for helping these seniors and giving of your time to see